Murder's illegal, right?
Right.
By definition, regardless how it's done. So there's nothing that would take that away. Things happen. It's plain
Yeah.
and simple.
You had written to me, you said, sometimes, things happen and it sucks, but that's, sometimes people they choose to just, evil's real. And sometimes people with their free will, they make evil decisions, but that shouldn't affect, everyone else. It shouldn't affect the rights of someone else because, heaven forbid, I would never want anyone else to be in that same situation. I mean, when you reached out to me, it really touched me what you had said in your email, and I just can't imagine, especially having to tell your family that, and then not even a year later, you see this unfold on television.
I know the pain. When my daughter and my daughter was a competitive cheerleader. She was a gymnast. I mean, she touched more lives than I possibly imagined. When we had the wake and the funeral, more people showed up than I even knew she knew. And so I know what the Parkers are going through, but to channel it in a way that, I don't know, to me, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's painful. Every day goes by and you never get past it. You'll just learn to endure it one moment at a time. So it's really difficult to kind of work through the grief. I was in Washington, D.C. when I got a call in the morning. My wife actually just found it out on a website, on a news website showing Justin's home.
That's how your wife found out about your daughter?
Yes. It was the murder-suicide headline with a yellow tape around Justin's house and Jacqueline's car sitting there. And then, the family mobilized at that point. I had just come back from Belgium. I was in Washington, D.C. I get a call from my daughter, Colleen, who says, Dad, Dad, Jacqueline's been shot. We don't know whether she's dead or alive. And I said, okay. Well, so I started plans heading home right at that moment. And then right after that, about 15 minutes later, I got a call going, Jacqueline's dead, Dad. And the kids didn't know. The kids were in school. The kids didn't know. The family went and picked the kids up from school. We kept them away from Facebook. We kept them away from everything because now news starting to filter out. I get home, now I have to tell the kids. So I got to tell my 16-year-old son, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 9-year-old son. And the older kids knew. And I gathered them around and I said, here's what happened. Justin shot and killed Jacqueline last night. And
I can't.
I don't know what's worse. Honestly, Dana, is it having a daughter die or having to tell the rest of the family that it happened? Then right. The grieving process and the denial and the anger. And you want to blame everything. You want to blame Justin. You want to blame his parents. You want to blame the gun. You want to blame. And in the end, you know what? It's a crazy guy at a crazy moment that changed the lives of a lot of people. And you can't legislate that. And as much as Andy wants to be the voice of change, I think we have too many laws. I think we have too many knee-jerk reactions, and this is not one we need to change.
Jack Dempsey, God bless you. I so appreciate you reaching out and sharing your story with us. And I know you're coming up on the year anniversary, marking her death.
Yep.
Our condolences are with you. We're praying for your family. And I just want to thank you for sharing your story because a lot of people, they don't, it's difficult going through the grieving process. You and I've discussed it, and doing it on a national stage where you have all these cameras pointing at your face. I can't imagine. I think it would probably complicate it and make it more difficult. But we appreciate you coming forward. I know that you had seen all this and you had enough and you reached out.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And somebody has to just say, stop the madness. You can't, again, my grief and our family's grief doesn't trump, everybody else's rights and doesn't trump the Constitution. Bad things happen, and sometimes there's nothing you can do.